We'll go ahead and stand for the pledge, and then we'll get started here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, December 20th. Unusual of us to have a meeting on a Friday, but we will have a meeting next Friday at 9 a.m. as well to finish up a couple other things for the Parks Department, which we were this meeting today was for the Parks Department, but everything didn't work out the way it should have, so they're going to need a meeting for next Friday. So,
Also for Nevins Township.
yeah, Nevins Township and all that fire protection district stuff. Jimmy, we have a couple sets of minutes and claims.
Got December 13th minutes to approve.
Questions or comments about Karen's minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Then I got your December 16th bid opening minutes to approve.
Questions or comments about those?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor by aye.
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 Then we got the December 18th Parks Department bid openings to approve.
I was there at that one, and Commissioner Moore showed up as well, so any questions or comments?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Then I've got got the claim docket for December 14th through 20th for $3,629,131.30.
I know Commissioner Klinkenbeard was diligently looking through these this morning.
Yes, I was. Everything looks good. Motion to approve.
Okay. Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then you have the payroll for December 19th of $1,521,315.23.
Any questions, any comments?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is that it, Jimmy? Okay. Thank you. All right, we got about
Okay,
10.
I was going to tell you, January 1st, the IRS mileage rate goes up to 70 cents a mile. So this week or next week, you probably ought to ratify that because that's what our handbook says we pay employees.
What about anything else, Jimmy? You know, besides the mileage, anything
I
per
don't-
diem or anything?
I'll check on that. I don't think it did, but it could have.
Yep, we can include that next week.
Yep. If you want to. It's going up.
Okay. Jimmy's wanting to give away more money. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we've got about 10 things to get through here today, and we're probably going to have 3 or 4 more next week, so we'll try to go quickly but clearly. The first thing on the agenda is a amended Baker Tilly contract. Cheryl or Jim, I don't know if either one of you want to talk about this. It is a cost savings to the county by reworking this contract moving forward. Either one of you?
Oh, this is the one with the ARPA?
Yes. Yep. Going from monthly to quarterly.
I believe this was your contractual services with them, professional services for the ARPA plan.
Yep.
So I know they reworked it because you were doing per hour and now they're doing so much per month. And it will be a reduced rate compared to what you've been paying because they have most of the work done. And I think it'll go through the 2026. I know that they had to rework it because you had some other professional services that had to be included for another group. And so probably around April of 2026, you'll need to find another funding source to be able to finish paying them through the end of the year, 26. But that's what it is amending that contract to go to an actual monthly rate instead of an hourly rate.
Okay. Cheryl especially has worked over the last 4 or 5 days, well, actually 10 days or so, to balance out the ARPA funds, and she did to the penny. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Any questions from the commissioners?
No questions, comment is, we're working through this. We had a plan, we've been working through it, and there's been some questions and things, and we've handled them, and it's work. Been a lot of work, actually, though.
Okay. Mark, anything?
No, make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Jim. All right, Mr. Craig, Mr. Machino, we have a resolution 2024-07.
Thank you, Mr. Schweitzer. My name's Scott Craig. I'm the attorney for the Terre Haute Regional Airport Authority. I'm here this morning on behalf of the authority to seek your blessings in the form of a resolution that would authorize the airport authority to borrow an amount not to exceed $7.1 million for some upcoming capital projects that we would like to fund in 2025 and/or 2026, depending on some schedules that we are not entirely in control of right now. As you probably know, the airport authority is a joint city-county airport, and so when we want to do things like borrow money, we need to get permission from both the county and the city. So we are in the process of doing that, and we are coming to you today to get your permission to do this. Just a small bit of background, because I know you have a busy schedule. The intent and plan of the airport authority is to utilize our existing, we have a TIF district out at the airport that goes from 46 essentially east past the airport from I-70 to 42. So it's a very large TIF district. We've seen a lot of growth and activity in our TIF district in the past few years, as we have on the entire east side. And we've been able to utilize our TIF funds to fund all sorts of smaller projects in serving and benefiting the airport and the surrounding area. In 2017, we did borrow some money from our TIF district, or from our TIF funds, to build some hangars, some box hangars. We built a set of 6 box hangars in 2017. We have a wait list for hangars. We have a great demand for hangars, and we don't have the supply to meet that demand. So we are again looking to borrow some money, though, to fund some other projects. Those projects, I wish I could tell you for sure what they're going to be. I know we are looking to do some more hangars. We opened bids, though, last week for another set of box hangars. Those bids came in higher than what we'd hoped. So we're working with our engineer on that to see if we can't find an alternative. So I don't know, as I stand here in front of you today, exactly for sure when those hangars would be built or how many of those hangars will be built. We'll only borrow, of course, the money we need to do that. We also are going to get some FAA money through the Bill Act, the bipartisan infrastructure legislation. We are going to get some grant funding for that. So we're going to use that grant funding along with the borrowing that we do here to do some kind of hangar project, whether it's a series of box hangars, maybe it's T hangars, maybe it's some larger hangars that are for bigger aircraft. I don't think we're 100% sure because those bids coming in high last week, so we're still in the midst of trying to figure that out. The other big project that I think we're intending to fund from this would be a solar project. We've been working with a company that's also been working with the Rose-Hulman called PSG to design a 1.27 kilowatt solar field that would be located on the northeast side of the airport, up close to 42 and the guard base. We're going to utilize, this is a great kind of coming together of a lot of different things. We're going to get we've received a $500,000 grant from the Indiana Office of Energy Development to help pay for the solar field. We're also expecting to get back $1.2 million in federal tax credits from the IRS or from the federal government once the project is complete. We're going to see some savings, of course, in energy from having the solar field, and we're also going to get some tax credits that we can sell on the market. Those tax credits, our intent is to use those tax credits to fund the Aviation Academy, which the school corporation recently approved in the where Ivy Tech's school used to be on our camp at the airport. We're going to we're already in the process of remodeling that building for the Aviation Academy. We'll want to use the money that this project's going to generate to help fund the activity at the Aviation Academy. We have some other projects. There's some other hangar renovations we'd like to do, some other terminal improvements we'd like to do. We do not have an elevator. And if you've been out to the airport, the offices are on the second floor, our meetings are on the second floor. It's not very accessible for people who have any kind of disability or mobility issues. So we'd really like to get an elevator put in if we have enough money to do that once it's all said and done. We've been working with Baker Tilly, Jason Simler from Baker Tilly, on trying to come up with how much we think we can borrow. And our bond counsel on this is Dennis Otten from Bose McKinney. And so that's what the resolution would authorize us to borrow, up to $7.1 million. We don't think we'll borrow that much, but that's what it would authorize us to do. And those are the kind of projects that we are looking at doing depending on what these bids come in at and what the interest rates are on the loans. So Craig is much better and able to answer any questions about the projects themselves. So.
Well, I was going to say, Mr. Craig, normally that Craig talks way too much. You
Yes.
explained it really well today. Commissioners, any questions or comments to the airport folks?
Greg, I was gonna say something about Aviation Academy, but why don't you say something about that? That's a big deal.
You gotta come to the microphone, Craig. We gotta get you on record. Official.
Of course, we're excited about the Aviation Academy. You know, when they hired me at the airport, they said, what can the airport do for Terre Haute? And that's create good jobs. Give hope to these young men and women and give them a pathway that they can either use these classes and go to college, but if they don't want to go to college, they can go right into the market. Maintenance jobs start $60,000 a year, and they top out at $150,000. Pilots go up to $250,000 a year. So great jobs, and to be able to take this solar farm and get a grant to build that and use that revenue to pay for this aviation academy and then get these kids through high school as juniors and seniors. And then that allows us to go out and market this workforce to aviation companies and bring them to Terre Haute. And you can't do that at any county airport in the state, but we can do it here because we got a 9,000-foot runway to be able to land large aircraft. And we also have 1,600 acres of adjoining property to build large hangars. There's a national shortage right now for hangars, so we're working to do that, right? We need to build more hangars, get companies to come here. And then there's this shortage for pilots and mechanics is forecast to go through 2050. So this isn't a short-time thing, and it's going to take us a few years to get there, but it's a path worth setting on. And so thank you for this opportunity, and I hope I answered your question, Commissioner.
Yeah, you covered, this is a program. It's not a one-sided type of thing, you know. We're looking at all of it as a, you know, people often say, what are we going to do to keep people in Terre Haute or young people or whatever? This is a comprehensive program.
This Aviation Academy, of course, Vigo County is leading the effort, but it's open to the counties in west central Indiana. And it was interesting when we first talked about it that, of course, it's for the high school, but we got lots of phone calls saying, hey, I'm 35 years old, how do I get in on this? So the next step is we're working with Aviation Institute of Maintenance in Indianapolis and some other firms, Ivy Tech in Columbus, Indiana, and some others on how could we offer something in the evening for our non-traditional students as well.
Yep. Well, I would make a motion to approve this resolution, 2024-07.
I would second that.
Okay. For the record, Ms. McCammon, that is Craig Machino, Executive Director of the airport. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Craig. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. You too. All right, next on the agenda is a resolution 2024-08. That is a resolution to purchase the real property from Kenneth and Vicki Steiner down behind the Vigo County Security Center. It's about 21 acres. It's for the price of $220,000. And he's accepting $1 in earnest money. We need to get this done this year so we can encumber the funds to officially pay him next year. Mr. Steiner's been really easy to work with. Terry's done a great job meeting with him and his wife. So you guys have the purchase agreement in front of you. The resolution is 2024-08 to purchase the property.
There was, if I could, forth with Kenny a few times on this, and we made a couple changes yesterday, so I just want to make sure you guys were aware of that. Yeah, he has been very easy to work with. I think this is a win-win for the county.
Yep.
And we're also to close within 60 days, and then go ahead and make it public about the dirt that's on the property.
There's some dirt on the property, will remain his property. In the event that we get to the point that we need it removed, because we have some use that we're gonna go forward with on the property, we have to give him notice. He wanted more notice than I originally had in the agreement. And in the event he doesn't remove it during that time frame, then the county can use it and or dispose of it.
Okay.
So, any questions or comments?
We've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah.
Glad we're finally at this point. This is big for the future of our county and any plans we have going forward. I would make a motion to approve this purchase agreement.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, Ricky, you're up. You got 3 agreements here, I believe. The first one is a 3-ton HVAC unit on the maintenance building.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, that's actually a unit that we salvaged out of the old jail. We're just wanting to move it down to the maintenance shop, hook it up. It did not come with a heat pack system, so this price does include that. Includes running the line sets, the whip, the disconnect, the pad, everything needed to set it up, so.
All right, that price is for the sum of $5,982.50. Ricky does have the funding to do this from Riverboat.
Yeah. We
Any
continue to salvage everything we can out of the old jail, and we've done, and this is probably about the last thing, right?
Yeah, it's the last thing that we had, and I mean, everybody's done a great job using what we can wherever we can, so.
Sure have. Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Ricky, control room HVAC. Not sure which building this is for.
This is for Juvenile Center.
Yep, okay.
It's a 4-ton unit. It serves their control room over there. We actually just have had issues with it for the last couple weeks. We made minor repairs to it to try to get it by, but it's one of the, I think there's only 2 older units left over there in that building, and this is one of them.
Okay. And this should catch us up, right? I mean, this is everything.
Yeah, there is one small unit over there left, and it serves like a bathroom area. But, I mean, the price of it really isn't very expensive. It's a smaller unit. I don't think at this time it's probably not important. We haven't had any issues out of it, so.
All right.
That's it.
Any questions or comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Last one, Ricky, is the North Highway Garage.
Yes, this serves the office area at North Highway. They did get a new AC unit on their other unit last year. This one was left. We didn't do any changes on that unit last year, so just requesting to change that out. That actually does just come with the natural gas furnace as well and AC.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All right, for the record, Karen, I'm sorry, I know you have the proposal, but the previous one was $9,794.76, and this one was $10,665.50. And then Johnson Controls, Ricky.
This is just a contract renewal. We typically did a 3-year contract with them. I had them change that up a little bit because I wasn't sure exactly what direction we were going with the courthouse chiller next year. So I decided that it'd probably be best to just do a 1-year contract on that and see which direction we go next year. Shoot, I forgot to write one thing down. This contract does come with the PM agreement, and then there's additional maintenance hours that comes along with it. I didn't write that down on the front. That was one thing I didn't do. I don't think they have it in this one, actually. But this is pretty much our, oh, sorry, yeah, here it is. 32 hours of labor is included with the actual PM. So that's one thing that we decided to probably add this year, considering all the trouble we've had with the courthouse chiller. So it'd be their regular PM agreement, cleaning cools, checking the unit out, and then any additional 32 hours of maintenance that we might need on that chiller.
Ricky, just a couple, maybe a suggestion for the commissioners real quick. There's a couple things in this contract I just seen that Terry will probably want to review.
I already did review
Okay.
this
I
and
did-
did send some comments.
Okay.
And I was advised that pretty much it's their standard contract. They
Okay.
won't negotiate the terms.
All right, that's fine. Just
Isn't that
making sure.
correct, Ricky?
Yeah, we've had problems with, in the past with them trying to change things in the contract. I mean, if you guys want to put it on hold for now, I'm fine with it and kind of see what they say, whatever you guys decide.
I sent some comments, and I think I copied you on them, Ricky.
You did. I actually sent that to JCI.
I mean, the one thing is just the automatic renewal. It's on, I think, the third or fourth to the last page.
Yeah, most of their contracts for their service agreements, it is.
That's
And
fine.
the only way, you'd have to calendar it, make sure you notify them so it doesn't automatically renew.
Okay,
If there's issues, obviously.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm good if you guys are good.
Yes, for sure. So the reason you want to go from 3 to 1 is this unit's probably going to need to be replaced sometime in the next couple of years.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I am good with this, and I would make a motion to approve this contract.
Second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Welcome.
All right, I accidentally skipped one. I forgot I grabbed the old agenda that Tammy changed about 15 times yesterday. So we have a bid award for Old Paris Sidewalk Project. It's American Rescue Plan funds. It's a project with the Parks Department. Larry Robbins bid the project out for him, awarding the bid to ST Construction. This is work within the town limits of West Terre Haute, but not necessarily something they can afford or do. This is extending the trail along the levee through an old abandoned railroad to get to Old Paris Road and get to the West Terre Haute Little League Ballpark where there is a sidewalk connection. There's no sidewalk currently there along Old Paris Road. So this will be taking up some of Page's property, Page's forest, within our easement right away to extend that sidewalk. Where he wanted to be here, but his Halloween, jeez, his Christmas party is today. How much is that, Mike? I don't have that with me. Looks like the recommendation was to award the bid to ST Construction for $234,468.
I believe that's ARPA funds.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep,
Yeah. And this was on par with what they were
Yeah.
expecting.
Yeah,
It's
a little bit less.
Yeah, a little bit less than the estimate.
So entertain a motion to approve.
And make a motion to approve the construction of the Old Paris sidewalk project.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, great, thank you guys. All right, Mr. Wolfley, if you want to touch on the Axon Taser contract just a little bit, or if you have anything you want to tell us. Derek's sent us an email, a couple emails.
Yes, so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those, but basically the sheriff's office is just here to seek approval to enter into a 5-year contract with Axon for the purchase of new Taser devices.
Okay. Any questions for the sheriff's office, you guys?
No, I believe I saw an email that the ones you have now are
Yeah,
into
they,
their life expectancy.
reached their end of life.
Yeah. Okay, I'd make a motion to approve.
I would second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, and last but not least, Charlie Funk can come up to the podium because I know he loves to speak. Get in front of everybody. This is a new medical contractor for the jail.
Yes.
Kind of want to touch base.
It'd be the jail and the juvenile center.
Okay. This is with 3C, 3 Comprehensive Correctional Care.
Yes.
Charlie, just want to kind of give a short synopsis of what we're moving on to here.
Um,
Or Norm can.
Well, I was going to say, so from the jail standpoint, we've had a few minor issues with our current provider. I've called around the state. It's something that a lot of their contracts that they currently have, a lot of their sites having the same issues. Several people, several different departments have switched contracts to different providers. So I've reached out to most of the providers, and this is kind of the one that we felt like could provide the best. So I know the juvenile center has had a lot of issues, a lot more than we have had. So this is something that we feel like is going to benefit them probably more than us.
Norm, anything you'd like to add?
No, I want to say that I appreciate Charlie's hard work in this and reaching out to find other vendors and researching this. We just are at a position where if we don't provide adequate medical care for the juveniles that are in our custody, those are mandatory Department of Corrections standards, and we could be subject to closure. So this is something that we have to be diligent and put at our forefront. And, you know, Charlie's made sure that we were involved in this from the beginning, and I've worked out some changes in the contract and forwarded them to the county attorney, and so we're pleased with our portion.
If I could, we've had several meetings about this, and we've actually had Zoom conferences with the provider of the medical services. Dave Frederick and myself and Charlie were all involved in that, and Norm. And I made some requested changes, which they did comply with and did make. So I think we're good from a legal standpoint with this contract now.
And even though Sheriff Fell is his own elected official, commissioners sign all contracts, and that's why it's been brought to us for signature and approval. So, any questions for Charlie or Norm? If not, would entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to approve this contract with 3Cs.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Norm. Yeah. All right, any comments from public at this time, from the public? Seeing none. A couple things. I asked Bev Bramble to be here today. Norm's here today. Cheryl Son is here today. The stuff that we had made for these two are not here yet. So we're gonna give them, I should have let you know. Bev, I'm sorry. So next Friday, we're going to honor Cheryl and Jimmy for their service here. Jim, I did reach out to Bev, had a conversation with her about your time here, which seems to be around 25 years, if that sounds about right, in Vigo County government. Is it more than that?
At the health department, it's a lot longer than that.
Wow.
And on the bug truck. Yeah.
You're really
I think
showing your
that-
age here. And then Cheryl, I talked to Norm. He said he thinks, now this is Norm numbers. He thinks it's 24 years. Does that sound about right? 26 years, okay. So next Friday, we're going to send out an all users email. I'll send one out early next week and try to encourage as many people as possible from your respective departments to come in here. We'll have a small thing after the commissioners meeting and honor those two and thank them for their service to Vigo County government. In addition to that, today is Terry Stranahan's last day in the assessor's office. She has been a Vigo County employee for 30 straight years. So that is very significant. Don't find much of that anymore. So it's very cool.
Yes.
Any comments from commissioners or other elected officials? Oh, look, Cheryl. Dang it. Hi, Josh. Josh, you don't have to be here. Mark, anything you want to add?
Yeah, echo what Chris said. Thank you guys for your service, and you've been a big help to me in the last 2 years for sure. Thank you for that. On a little somber note, earlier this week, Fred Wilson, longtime area planning director, member, business owner, passed away. I've served on the board with him for 2 years, and then known him before that as a builder also. So certainly thank him for his service and thinking of his family during this time.
Yep. Mike, anything else?
No, just that is a moment of reflection. Went to school with Fred and worked with him for many, many years. So, yeah.
Okay.
But I would just like to say from a legal perspective that, you know, Jimmy and Cheryl have been a great help. I mean, and I go to them a lot on different things, and they've both been very helpful anytime I've ever needed something, so, and very knowledgeable.
Even though sometimes we get answers we don't like to hear. That's tough love. All right, so next week we'll meet on Friday, the 27th at 9 a.m. The commissioners will give a short update on the things that we've accomplished over the year, 2024. We'll have a couple contracts to sign. And then, like I said, after the meeting, well, during the meeting and after, we'll honor Jim and Cheryl, so, yep.
To answer your earlier questions, the reimbursement rate for meals and incidental expenses goes up to $68 from $59 a day.
Okay. You got that, Tammy? Got it. Okay. All right, Kevin, anything from the assessor's office? Okay. Thank you. Bruce, surveyor's office. Human resources, last day for MedBin. Okay. All right, cool. All right, we'll stay in recess till next Friday. Thank you.